Hello, everyone, and welcome to the show. This is the Colbert Report, and I'm Stephen Colbert, and I'm excited to get this session going for tonight's show. Topic of the evening, obesity. This is a really prevalent subject in society today, and I really want you guys to know about it. I'm usually a joking kind of guy, but this stuff is serious. Let's get serious. But in honor of tonight's show, let's get physical. Let's get some background information out of the way and start with some definitions. To be overweight means above a weight considered normal or desirable. To be obese means a person has accumulated so much body fat that it might have a negative effect on their health. To measure obesity, we use a term called body mass index. This is calculated by dividing your weight by your height. But height is calculated in meters squared. So this is a problem because no one really knows why it's squared. Also, for someone like me who's extremely buff, this may not be good because I may weigh just as heavy as someone else, but they might have fat that's accumulating for their weight and I just have my muscle. Also, BMI does not account for the age of a person. And I mean, look at me. I don't look in a day over 20. Here are some important statistics about obesity in the United States. 35.9 adults aged 20 years and over are obese. 18.4% of adolescents aged 12 to 19 are obese. 18% of children 6 to 11 years are obese. And 12.1% of children 2 to 5 years are obese. This only accounts for the United States, but obesity is a problem everywhere. So now you know, ISIS, karma is a bitch. Obesity is caused by a myriad of things. Unhealthy diets, for example, too much calorie intake, serving size. Sometimes, if it's right in front of you, I mean, what's the chance you're going to stop? Anyways, also, too much television. Not enough.
Figure it out, Pam! We can't! Why would you use your gummy?
So, there's more science involved that people don't know about that cause obesity. Our genes can cause obesity. A gene is something hereditary passed from parent to child that often determines some characteristic of their offspring. You would be so surprised to know that things like these have so much to do with how we turn out. I mean, okay, let's try these babies on. Oh, yeah. Okay. Okay. Guess I gotta lay off the broom. Moving on. 5% of human beings' obesity is caused by a single gene alteration. Some of these genes include BMIQ1, BMIQ2, FTO, GNPDA2, NEGR1, and NPC1. Obesity also can be caused by more than one gene deficiency, not just one. If 2 skinny people have a child, the chance that the child is obese is 10%. If 2 obese people have a child, the child has a 75% of being obese. That's crazy. Since we know genes come from our parents, there are birth and afterbirth factors that can influence our obesity. If a mother smokes, her child has a 50% higher risk of being obese. If a mother gains excessive weight during her pregnancy, the child is 4 times more at risk of being overweight. The mother's blood sugar levels also need to be determined during pregnancy, especially if she develops pregnancy-related diabetes. When a mother gains a lot of excessive weight during her pregnancy, it is primarily adipose or fat tissue. When a lot of this fat tissue builds up, it causes the mother to resist insulin, which allows a greater transfer of glucose and other fuels across the placenta so the fetus can grow. So basically, mom gets really fat, starts to resist insulin herself, so the baby gets all the extra sugar and gets fat. Also, if a mother has a C-section instead of a natural birth, it can cause obesity in the baby. Post-birth factors that can influence the child's obesity are how quickly the infant gains weight, how long an infant is breastfed for, and how much an infant gets sleep. We can blame if our genes are causing us obesity on our epigenome. Epigenome is a scary word, but basically, chemicals surrounding our DNA can change our genome and turn certain genes on and off that can cause obesity without actually changing our DNA. Epigenetics. You. Now that we have talked about how genes can affect obesity, we can talk about a hormone that has to do with obesity. Women, listen up. Hormones are why most of you are all still single. A hormone is a substance produced in an organism that is transported into fluids, such as blood, in your body, and stimulates cells to do a certain action. A hormone in our bodies that is supposed to tell us that we are full and to stop eating is leptin. When there is a deficiency or mutation in the leptin gene, it causes obesity because there is no hormone that tells your brain that you are full. There was a case study that found a 3-year-old already weighing 93 pounds because his leptin was mutated. People are becoming resistant to leptin, therefore they can have more leptin in them, and more leptin will actually cause them to be fatter. On a lighter note, get it later, obesity is the second leading cause of cancer today, especially breast cancer in women. Fat cells contain estrogen and fuels the growth of cancer cells to grow more rapidly. So the more fat, the more the cancer cells grow. Obesity is a sad and scary topic. Its consequences include increased death rates, reduced bodily productivity and functioning, increased healthcare costs, and discrimination. So now, let's talk about some ways that we can fix it. The obvious ways to treat obesity are very simple lifestyle changes. Eat healthy, exercise more, get more sleep, but scientists have found some technologies that do the trick. Right now, we normally use a gastric bypass, where the stomach is surgically reduced to about the size of a little lemon. But scientists from Enteromedics have found a less invasive way called V-block. V-block is an electrical stimulator used to block signals from the vagus nerve regulating hormones. There are 2 small electrodes implanted next to the vagus nerve fibers at the top of the stomach. Pulses are then sent to those electrodes at the vagus nerve and block the signals coming from the nerve so that you feel more full and less hungry. Another method is an endoscopically placed gastric balloon. The balloon is placed in a position between the lock and portal. The balloon is then filled with a mass containing a liquid medium that gives the neurological effect of feeling very full. The balloon can be easily deflated or reduced without any patient discomfort. For example, take the balloon, our liquid medium, very tight balloon. So on our hook, just hold it open. So we have our balloon open. Pour a little liquid in. Oh my god, am I feeling more full now that we did that? Phew.
Right.
There are medications also to treat obesity prescribed by a doctor. Appetite suppressants decrease appetite by increasing levels of serotonin or catecholamines, 2 brain chemicals that affect mood and appetites. Also, you can go to a therapist who can work with you on behavioral and the emotional issues that relate to eating. They can teach you to cope with cravings and anxieties about food. Tonight I'm really excited because we're going to have some guests come in, and I think you're really going to like the first one. So welcome, Kim Kardashian. Kim, we are so lucky to have you on the show. I'm so excited you're here. So now, I would just like you to tell me, what are your thoughts on obesity in society today?
Well, I mean, look at me. My body is perfect. It's never really something I've had to worry about. I guess poor people would probably have problems with obesity. The cheapest food is usually worse for you because it's processed and packaged. I'm so rich. I have a personal trainer who comes over every day. And a personal dietitian, too, who makes a meal plan for me each week to watch my calorie intake. I don't do any work for myself, but at least I have my butt.
Wow.
It's made me millions. Here, you're looking a little chunky lately. Have some of this.
Wow. I really hope this will help me get skinny like you.
Maybe. I don't know.
Well, Kim, thank you so much for coming. It's been a pleasure.
Yeah.
Our next guest for the evening is Melissa McCarthy. You guys are gonna love her. She starred in Bridesmaids. That's probably how you all know her, as the little fat friend. But that female movie was the funniest female movie I have ever seen. Who knew women could be so funny? Melissa, welcome. It's so great to have you on the show.
Hi.
So, I just wanted to know, is it hard to play a character that is usually characterized as the obese friend?
Well, it's sometimes hard because, sometimes the only reason people are laughing at you is because of your weight. And because today in society, everyone thinks that it's funny to pick on the fat kid.
I totally understand. How do you feel about obesity in society today?
Well, how I feel about obesity today is that people see fat as bad and unhealthy. But what they don't know is that obesity is a disease and sometimes out of our control. If I had to choose, I might prefer to be skinny and really pretty. But, my fatness and my funniness has made me really wealthy. And I have a lot of funny movies and people really enjoy my character. And I like to eat, and I think it makes me a happy person, and I don't think that it is fair that people associate fat with ugly, because I think I'm beautiful.
You are beautiful.
On the outside and the inside.
You are so beautiful. So I heard
that I could beat you in a hot dog contest.
Oh no, I don't know if I could let a woman embarrass me on public
Oh,
television.
come on, don't be such a chicken.
Oh my gosh. I'm not a chicken.
Yeah, I could probably put a chicken in here.
Okay, well thank you so much for joining us tonight. I've had a great time talking to you.
Thanks, I'm glad I could spread my love.
Oh, no problem. See you soon.
Okay.
Our next guest is the First Lady of the United States. Can you believe it? I would like to welcome Michelle Obama up to the stand.
Oh,
Hi, so a pleasure. Absolutely a pleasure. Is Obama watching tonight?
No.
Oh, okay. Well, this is so awkward because even though we're both Democrats, I still think your husband is the worst president to ever step foot in office. With that being said, how do you feel about obesity in society today?
I feel that obesity is something preventative. This starts with the children. Children are young enough that their bodies are continually changing. Therefore, if we can get them started on a healthy track, we can keep them that way so that when they're adults, they won't be at a higher risk for obesity. In the past decade, the obesity rate for children aged 2 to 5 has dropped by 43%. I don't know if this is just by chance or by society becoming more aware about the risks of obesity. I've started 10,000 child care centers across the country to push change in young children's eating and exercise habits. Obesity can be generational. If we get our children to be healthier, then they can get their children to be healthy too, and it will start a domino effect.
You're so right. Well, I just wanted to say thank you so much for coming to our show tonight. Only 750 days, 18,012 hours, 1,080,772 minutes, and 64,846,354 seconds until the best day of the year.
Christmas.
Close. Till your husband leaves office.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Well, thank you so much for coming.
Yes, it's been a pleasure.
It has been a pleasure. Okay. See ya. So now that we've heard everybody else's take on obesity, I would like to talk about mine. Let's just pretend for a second I was a female college student attending Fairfield University. In that case, I would say I think obesity is a subject that is very important. When I go to Verona, I have a very hard time watching my meal take portions. I don't think I'm obese, and obviously don't think I am, but it's hard when you have so much food in front of you and to just be able to make yourself take something more greens and vegetables and be more healthy just in general. It's a very hard lifestyle, and it's not something that's so easy to accomplish. And when we look at people, I know I can judge people sometimes if I see them and think, wow, this girl's not the skinniest. But it's not always their fault, and I can understand that now. I also think society puts a lot of pressure on us. We're supposed to be social, do good in school, be healthy, make time for our friends, exercise, homework, get a job. There are so many pressures to do so many things and be good at all of them, and sometimes it's just hard. Some things might fall off the charts for people than the other. So some people might be obese, some people may be less smart, some people may be more smart, but it's hard to be a student today. Back to being... Another way to show you my thoughts on obesity, I'd like to take this time to write out some thank you notes. Thank you, Chipotle, for existing. You somehow fit all that fat into the world in just one delicious burrito. Thank you, McDonald's, for having drive-thrus so that I actually don't have to walk out of my car to get your food. I can just drive right up. Thank you, Netflix, for giving me just 10 seconds to decide if I want to watch the next episode. That's just enough time for me to contemplate and think, hey, maybe I should get out of bed. But then the episode changes so fast that I just can't. Thank you, Fat Booth app on my iPhone. You make my face look so funny and ridiculous, but the funniest part about it is that will be me in 10 years. And thank you, most importantly, Victoria's Secret, for hosting a fashion show every year that makes me want to kill myself. I love that. Everyone, this concludes our portion of the show tonight on obesity. I hope you enjoyed what you learned and got a lot out of it. Just remember, you may be obese, but at least you don't have Ebola. See you next time on the Colbert Report.